But the whole point of me pointing all of that out is if Wallin can back him up against the ropes and put him in bad positions in the ring, Usyk is absolutely going to do it. But the battle at those longer ranges, I could see Usyk winning some of those longer range battles, and he could win by throwing off the reactions of Fury. This video was kind of me looking at the closest analog to Usyk out of Fury's past opponents. That's how I do pre-fight breakdowns, and generally most of the time, the vast majority of the time, those previous opponents aren't going to be as good as the person we're trying to break down for, but patterns are patterns and similarities are similarities, and science is science. Speaking of, let's talk science. This video is kind of me brainstorming and looking over some parts of the fight early on, just seeing patterns. Right, I'm always interested in what the community thinks, so that's why you should always read the pinned comment, because that's usually to start a discussion or tell something important and clarify some things. So tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all of that. Let's get into the science. So we were talking about en, and here's a good example. When you have Fury, he's very comfortable fighting at the edge of his gorilla reach because he has those long ass arms, and so he's just jabbing, moving kind of slowly. He's fighting at his own pace. He's feinting, jabbing. He's doing everything the way he wants to. He's not reacting. Basically, there's no big movements. It's all subtle stuff. And you see when he jabs and he kind of like starts stepping back because he sees Wallin stepping in, he takes slight steps back. These are all normal movements. But everything changes when Wallin takes that big step into his space. Then you see Fury react. He's not just comfortably doing whatever he wants. He's now reacting because his space is being invaded. He kind of like stiff arms him right there like Derrick Henry and jumps back. He's not stepping back anymore. He jumps back. That's a reaction. That's what I mean. Getting into someone's personal space to where they're no longer comfortable and they're forced to do something about it. Now, early on, Wallin was setting up a lot of shots off of this level change. You see him duck low, step in with a double jab, and then throw the cross to the body. And if you see Fury, what does his guard do? He tries to do like this matador move, and his arms are completely out of the way of his chin, and his chin is kind of, you know, a little bit up in the air. And we're gonna see if that translates. As I'm watching the fight, I'm taking notes as I go along. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's gonna do something, and it does do something in just a few seconds. Now, Fury's at a comfortable range, which for him is generally jabbing range for most heavyweights, and it will be for Usyk. He's probably going to be more comfortable at jabbing range because he has those long arms. So you see him jabbing, and he's not making too many big movements. He's not forced to make any big movements. However, once Wallin level changes, that's a signal to Fury that the entry is about to happen. Wallin is about to transgress into his personal space again. And he takes that big step and he tries to like jab, and then Fury's kind of blinding him, and then he tries to throw that cross to the body again. So he's trying to work off that level change jab, double jab to the body, and then follow up with the backhand. Notice how generally once he starts this level change entry, there's kind of like a big telegraph with his step. You see that big step that he takes? So he enters in, jab to the body, trying to get underneath the jab and inside the jab of Fury, and he kind of touches the chin. So earlier I was talking about, okay, when he's hitting that body and you see Fury's arm going out like that, like he's doing a Macarena or something, when he's hitting that body, is he going to bring it up top? And he did. It just took him a little bit to build up to that. Now the problem is, the reason why Wallin was getting cooked, and the reason why he got cooked versus Anthony Joshua too, is because his bag, he don't got too much in his bag. He's like the magician that got one trick. So as a few seconds later, literally like a couple seconds later, he tries to do like a Leo Santa Cruz versus Gervonta Davis. Oh, that worked. Let me do it again. Jab to the body, big step, and then Fury kind of scooped his head into that uppercut because he saw that the same pattern 2 times in a row, which is not a very good idea on the higher level, especially against someone with a higher IQ like Fury, because they're gonna instantly adapt. So big step. Oh, you're doing the entry again? Let me blast you real quick. And he kind of grazes him with the uppercut. Wallin is going to take that big step. Like he does like this obvious telegraph every time he does this. Like this big move, and in slow motion is more obvious, but also to Fury, he sees it. So it's obvious to Fury as well. That big move, jab, entry, and then Fury kind of like, now this isn't too bad, but at this point he kind of like gets around his neck. And as I was making notes, I felt kind of bad because I didn't want this to be a video about Tyson Fury cheating, but these are important parts, so it is what it is. he gets around the back of that neck and then he hits him with the uppercut. So he's basically controlling him. He's stifling that entry. He's getting weight on top of him, shutting down any attempts to get that level change underneath because he keeps doing the same entry every time. Wallin, level change, big step, and Fury sees that big step coming from a mile away again, so he's already jumping back. Lead hand measuring, right hand blasting. These counters are getting worse and worse for Wallin because Fury's getting more opportunities to calculate the trajectory of where he exactly needs to land a punch and win, because he's getting the same pattern over and over, so he gets an opportunity to properly measure each time. But one thing about that lead hand of Tyson Fury is very educated. I think him and Usyk have the top two most educated lead hands in boxing, meaning they use that lead hand for so many things: measuring, blinding, guard manipulation, all feinting, all kinds of things, jabbing, obviously. So it'll be really interesting to see who's one and who's two as far as the educated lead hands go. But when it comes to those unpredictable entries, you know what, we'll talk about that in a second. Like I said, give me a little bit of time. In this fight, the pressure wasn't one-sided. Sometimes Fury would be backing Wallin up, and sometimes Wallin would be backing Fury up. The interesting thing though is, we talk about Fury wanting to stay, his comfortable range is a lot longer. He wants to keep you at the end of the jab. That's where he can relax. That's where he can fight at his pace and not have to react as much. So that also has the disadvantage of making it easy for him to get cornered, because he wants to be back so far that just a few small movements from someone like Wallin can get him against the ropes. And a lot of times he was against the ropes when Wallin was putting on the pressure. Now, in the Lomachenko breakdown, we talked about how Loma puts people in bad positions of the ring, how he was constantly feinting movement to get Kambosos to react by backing up until Kambosos was against the ropes. And then when he's against the ropes, there's these opportunities right here where, of course, Fury blocks that. Fury, obviously known for his great defense. It hasn't been so great recently, but I think he's going to be sharper than ever, because I think he knows that the level of this fight is going to be raised. I think he's going to look better than how he's been looking. That's my opinion, at least. But the whole point of me pointing all of that out is, if Wallin can back him up against the ropes and put him in bad positions in the ring, Usyk is absolutely going to do it, because he's going to be feinting and backing him up. He's going to be doing the entry feints, and Fury's going to be extra reactive. But as we talk about positioning, it's not just positioning in parts of the ring, it's also positioning of parts of your body in exchanges. Here's what I mean. So Fury is gonna kind of set this little bit of a trap. He purposely feints down low so that he can bring out the jab of Wallin. As he does that though, his head doesn't just go low, it goes towards the inside, towards Wallin's left. So as Wallin jabs, his jab is gonna hit that shoulder instead of Fury's chin. And Fury's left arm is more aligned with Wallin's chin, so he gets his left arm inside of Wallin's right arm while avoiding the jab. So that's just high IQ stuff from Fury, and great positioning and awareness, which is going to be very important facing Usyk, because Usyk is also a master of positioning. So the battle there is going to be like a chess battle, kind of like how it was with Joshua and Usyk. Now, based off the data that I have so far, if I had to guess what this fight was going to look like, it was going to look like a mix of these kind of moments where Fury's comfortable at the edge of his punching range, just jabbing and subtle movements and feinting. But the moment that Usyk tries to cross into his personal space, the moment Usyk tries to make any big moves, Fury's going to be looking to counter. And then Usyk is going to try and avoid those counters. It's going to be a battle of that longer range of Usyk trying to find ways to get to Fury, and Fury trying to find ways to stop Usyk from getting to him. Because when I talk about it's more of a mental thing, and it's affected by a lot of different factors. So like Usyk is someone that jumps into your personal space. So your reactiveness is going to increase because there's more opportunities for him to get inside of your personal bubble, where Fury obviously doesn't want to be. Well, maybe as the fight goes on, like how he did with Wallin, he may want to fight more on the inside and lean on him. And then if that's the case, well, then his end is going to be very small, because he's going to want to fight on the inside. He's going to be comfortable there. He's not going to be reactive. He's kind of like how he's comfortable sometimes jabbing on the outside, and then in some parts of some fights, he's comfortable making it an inside fight. He has dynamics to his style, and it'll be really interesting to see which dynamics he relies on versus Usyk. But the battle at those longer ranges, I could see Usyk winning some of those longer range battles, and he could win by throwing off the reactions of Fury. Because like I said, I think Fury is going to be a lot more reactive because Usyk is going to be capable of getting to him very easy compared to someone like Wallin. So I think Usyk is going to have a lot of feints. It's going to throw Fury off his game, and then Fury is going to be, his countering isn't going to be as effective because it's not going to be as predictable as Wallin. So we're talking about Usyk being unpredictable. That style of constant feinting, constant moving, it does overwhelm. That's why Fury is so successful. His constant feinting overwhelms people. Usyk is the same way. Now this video is more about how Usyk could give Fury problems. The next video is about how Fury could give Usyk problems, so it's vice versa. To be honest, there'll probably be 3 breakdowns, 2 for each, and then 1 with a combination of both, because I got a lot more to look at and analyze. But look out for that Usyk video coming out tomorrow, and the 3rd breakdown and prediction / simulation Friday. Fight Scientist, I'm out.